I just watched a 67-year-old grandmother become the richest person in her collapsed town using nothing but 10 items from Dollar Tree. The twist? She bought them all for under $50, and now desperate neighbors are trading cars for them. When Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans, people weren't fighting over gold bars or stock certificates. They were trading wedding rings for bottles of water. A pack of cigarettes could get you a hot meal. Toilet paper became more valuable than a $100 bill. That's the brutal reality most people refuse to face. When disaster strikes, your bank account means absolutely nothing if the ATMs are dead and the stores are empty. Cash becomes worthless paper. Credit cards turn into expensive plastic rectangles. But that bottle of hand sanitizer in your closet, pure gold. Here's what the experts won't tell you about emergency preparedness. It's not just about survival, it's about wealth, real, tangible wealth, that people will literally fight over when everything falls apart. The smart money isn't in Wall Street during a crisis, it's in your garage, your pantry, and your medicine cabinet. Every major disaster follows the same pattern. First, the infrastructure fails, power grids go dark, water treatment plants shut down, delivery trucks stop rolling. Then comes the panic buying, and within hours, store shelves look like they've been hit by locusts. Remember the great toilet paper shortage of 2020? People were selling single rolls for $20 online. But here's where it gets interesting. While everyone else is panicking, the prepared few become the new rich. They're not just surviving, they're thriving. Their stockpiles become private banks that never close. Their extra supplies transform into bargaining chips that open doors, secure favors, and even save lives. The mathematics of scarcity is brutally simple. When supply drops to zero and demand skyrockets, ordinary items become extraordinary treasures. A flashlight isn't just a flashlight anymore. It's security, safety, and peace of mind rolled into one. A water filter stops being a camping accessory and becomes a lifeline worth more than a car payment. Makes sense, right? But most people miss the deeper game entirely. They think prepping means buying a bunch of stuff and hoping they never need it. Wrong. Smart preppers understand that their supplies are investments that pay dividends in any crisis. Whether it's a natural disaster, economic collapse, or even a global pandemic, the same rules apply. The beauty of this system lies in its simplicity. You don't need insider trading knowledge or fancy financial degrees. You just need to understand basic human needs and stock up accordingly. Food, water, medicine, tools. These things never go out of style. They never crash like markets do. They hold their value when everything else crumbles. Then there's the psychological advantage. When chaos erupts around you, having the right supplies doesn't just keep you alive, it keeps you calm. Clear thinking becomes your secret weapon. While everyone else loses their minds, you become the person others turn to for help, creating a network of grateful allies who remember your generosity. The question isn't whether another crisis will hit. History guarantees it will. The real question is whether you'll be desperately trading your grandmother's jewelry for basic necessities, or whether you'll be the one offering solutions when others have none. Getting started means understanding which items deliver the biggest impact when society's safety net disappears completely. Clean water isn't just important, it's literally life or death. Your body can survive weeks without food, but only 3 days without water. During Hurricane Katrina, people were trading jewelry for bottles of water. A simple gallon jug that cost 99 cents at the store suddenly became worth more than a $100 bill. Why? Because you can't drink paper money. The magic number is 1 gallon per person per day. That's for drinking, basic cooking, and minimal hygiene. Sounds like a lot until you realize how fast it disappears. Most people don't think about this until their tap runs dry and store shelves are empty. Water filters and purification tablets become absolute gold during emergencies. A $20 water filter can clean thousands of gallons from rivers, lakes, or even questionable tap water. Those little purification tablets, each one can make a liter of sketchy water safe to drink. When everyone else is getting sick from bad water, you're the person with the solution they desperately need. Then there's food, but not just any food. We're talking shelf-stable, high-calorie stuff that doesn't need refrigeration. Rice, beans, canned meat, peanut butter, and energy bars. These aren't gourmet meals, but they pack serious nutritional punch and last for years when stored properly. During the Texas freeze in 2021, people were paying $50 for a single bag of groceries that normally cost $10. The weird part is how fast your perspective changes when you're hungry. That can of chili you bought for $2 becomes incredibly valuable when it's the difference between eating and not eating. High-calorie foods work especially well for trading because everyone understands their immediate value. But here's what most people overlook: completely hygiene supplies. Soap, hand sanitizer, wet wipes, and yes, toilet paper. Before modern medicine, more people died from disease than violence or starvation. Poor hygiene spreads sickness faster than anything else. And when hospitals are overwhelmed or unreachable, staying clean becomes a survival strategy. Toilet paper disappears from stores within hours of any emergency announcement. Remember the great toilet paper shortage of 2020? People fought over it like it was made of platinum. Feminine hygiene products vanish even faster because they're absolutely essential for half the population, and there's no substitute. Hand sanitizer and wet wipes let you stay clean when water is scarce or needs to be saved for drinking. A bottle of hand sanitizer that cost $3 pre-disaster can easily trade for $10 worth of other supplies. Wet wipes are even better. They clean hands, faces, and surfaces without using any of your precious water supply. Soap might seem boring, but it prevents infections that could kill you when antibiotics aren't available. A bar of soap can clean dishes, laundry, bodies, and even be carved into smaller pieces for individual trades. These basics, water, food, and hygiene, form your foundation. But once you've secured the essentials for staying alive and healthy, you'll need items that keep you safe and give you advantages others don't have. When the lights go out and hospitals become unreachable, that basic first aid kit transforms from a bathroom cabinet afterthought into liquid gold. Bandages stop bleeding, painkillers ease suffering, antibiotics fight infections that could turn deadly without modern medical care. People will trade almost anything for relief from pain or the promise of healing their loved ones. The weird part is how fast medical supplies disappear. During Hurricane Katrina, pharmacies were cleaned out within hours. Diabetics traded jewelry for insulin. Parents gave up precious food rations for children's fever reducers. Makes sense, right? Health beats hunger when your kid is burning up with fever. Then there's the power situation. Your smartphone becomes a paperweight without electricity, but that small solar charger suddenly makes you the neighborhood hero. Everyone wants to call family, check news, or simply charge a flashlight. Solar panels that seemed like expensive gadgets before disasters become essential survival tools that people desperately need. Flashlights and batteries turn into currency faster than you'd expect. Well, think about it. Darkness makes everything dangerous. You can't cook safely, can't see threats, can't even use the bathroom without risking injury. LED headlamps beat regular flashlights every time because they free your hands for work. Smart preppers stock up on LED bulbs since they last thousands of hours longer than regular ones. But here's what most people miss about lighting. Candles aren't just backup illumination. They provide heat, can melt wax for sealing containers, and offer psychological comfort that cold LED light simply cannot match. During the Texas freeze of 2021, families huddled around single candles for warmth and hope. That's powerful stuff. Let's not forget the multi-tool factor. A quality knife or multi-tool becomes indispensable when hardware stores close indefinitely. Need to open cans, cut rope, strip wires, fix broken equipment. One good blade handles dozens of essential tasks. People trade significant resources for reliable cutting tools because they enable survival activities that would otherwise be impossible. The psychology behind these trades gets fascinating too. Someone sitting in darkness, unable to contact family, dealing with a minor injury, will often trade their most valuable possessions for immediate relief. They're not thinking rationally about long-term value. They want solutions right now. Medical supplies carry extra trading weight because they solve urgent problems. That bottle of aspirin isn't just pain relief, it's hope. Those bandages aren't just wound care, they represent safety and healing. When someone's child is hurt or sick, parents become willing to negotiate almost anything for medical help. And the weird part is how power-related items create ongoing relationships rather than one-time trades. Someone who owns a solar charger doesn't just sell it, they rent charging time, creating repeat customers and building valuable social networks. Same with people who have reliable lighting. They become gathering points where neighbors share information and resources. Emergency lighting and basic medical care represent fundamental human needs that transcend normal economic rules. But even these critical supplies pale in comparison to the next category of items that determine long-term survival comfort, and your ability to maintain both physical safety and mental stability. You've got the basics covered: water, food, medical supplies. But here's where most people stop thinking. They assume if they can survive the first week, everything else will work itself out. Wrong. Dead wrong. The second wave of needs hits when the initial chaos settles and reality kicks in. Temperature becomes your enemy. A warm blanket that cost you $15 at Walmart. That same blanket could trade for a week's worth of food when people are shivering in abandoned buildings. Sleeping bags rated for cold weather become gold mines. Winter clothes aren't just comfort items, they're life insurance policies you can cash in. Then there's the repair factor that nobody talks about. Duct tape fixes everything from torn shelter to broken water containers. A single roll can patch a roof, seal a window, or even create makeshift shoes. Bleach turns questionable water into safe drinking water and cleans wounds when medical supplies run low. Garbage bags become waterproof storage, emergency ponchos or ground covers. These aren't fancy items, they're miracle workers disguised as everyday junk. Well, protection takes on a whole new meaning when you realize germs kill more people than bullets during disasters. Masks and gloves aren't pandemic accessories anymore, they're shields against dust storms, chemical spills and contaminated areas. People who ignored them during normal times suddenly understand their value when breathing becomes dangerous. Cast iron cookware deserves special attention here. Most cooking equipment needs electricity or specific fuel types. Cast iron, throw it over any fire source and you're cooking. Wood, charcoal, propane, doesn't matter. Plus it doubles as a weapon if things get really desperate. Not that we're hoping for that scenario, but versatility wins during tough times. And the weird part is how comfort items become currency. Mosquito repellent seems trivial until swarms of bugs make life miserable and spread disease. Insulated coolers keep medicine from spoiling and food from rotting. These comfort boosters aren't luxury items, they're morale savers that keep communities functioning. Happy people cooperate, miserable people fight. Let's not forget the psychological angle. When everything falls apart, small comforts become massive victories. A functioning cooler means cold drinks. Cold drinks mean normalcy. Normalcy means hope. Hope keeps people trading instead of stealing. See how this works. The beauty of these second-stage items lies in their timing. While everyone scrambles for water and food during the first days, you'll be the only person offering warm clothing when temperatures drop. You'll have the only working repair materials when shelters start falling apart. Scarcity creates value, and planning creates scarcity for others while building wealth for you. But having the right items means nothing if you don't know when to use them versus when to trade them. More importantly, it means nothing if you can't identify which skills and tools will matter most when your supplies start running low. That's where the real strategy begins. After all the stockpiling, here's the truth. Nobody talks about having stuff means nothing if you don't know how to use it strategically. The difference between a smart prepper and a dead one isn't what they own, it's how they think. Fishing gear becomes your food factory when stores are empty. A simple rod, tackle box and some hooks can feed you for months. But here's the kicker, most people never learned to fish properly. While they're trading their last canned beans for a single meal, you're pulling dinner from any lake or river. Even better, fresh fish trades like currency. People get sick of eating stale crackers and will give you almost anything for real protein. Axes and shovels sound boring until you realize they're wealth generators. Need firewood? Chop it. Want to dig a latrine or build shelter? That shovel becomes your best friend. And the weird part is, these tools multiply your trading power because they help you create value from nothing. You're not just trading the axe, you're trading the wood it can cut, the shelter it can help build. Then there's something most preppers completely ignore: documentation. Pens, paper, notebooks. Sounds useless. Wrong. When chaos hits, information becomes power. Who owes what to whom? Where are the safe zones? Which routes are blocked? The person keeping track of trade deals, debts and vital intel becomes the neighborhood banker. Plus, people desperately want to send messages to loved ones when phones don't work. Let's not forget the mental health angle. And this is where smart preppers get rich. Cards, dice, books, board games. After 2 weeks of pure survival mode, people start cracking. Boredom and stress kill communities faster than hunger. Sometimes, the person who can provide entertainment becomes incredibly valuable. A deck of cards that cost $2 suddenly trades for meals or tools. But here's where most people mess up completely. Timing. Having the right stuff means nothing if you trade it too early or too late. Week 1 of a disaster. People still think help is coming. They won't trade much. Week 3, now they're desperate, and your supplies become extremely valuable. Hold out too long though. and you might miss your window entirely. The real skill is reading people and situations. That neighbor who hoarded toilet paper but forgot about water. Perfect trading partner. The guy with tons of food but no way to cook it safely. Your portable stove just became worth 10 meals instead of one. Makes sense, right? Your stockpile isn't just emergency supplies, it's a business waiting to happen. Every item becomes an investment that pays dividends when society temporarily breaks down. The trick is staying patient, staying smart, and knowing that sometimes the best trade is the one you don't make yet. Well, successful bartering isn't just about having things people want, it's about becoming someone people trust and need. Your reputation becomes more valuable than your stuff, because in a world where everything's uncertain, reliable people become priceless assets themselves.